Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AtomOne Community Town Hall. Thank you all for joining. We have some exciting news to share and some updates in regards to some of the contributions that were done for the AtomOne chain. As Johnny has mentioned before, there's a complete agenda here, which was proposed for the topic of discussion for today. In the future, please feel free to open your own suggestions on GitHub with the topics that you would like to add. If you have contributions to the AtomOne project and you'd like to discuss those with the community, that will be the ideal place to add those in the agenda topics and discuss them. And also, if you have suggestions on how to improve the format of these discussions moving forward, structure, or any type of suggestions that you believe could be valuable, also share them here today or also in GitHub. As a process, we'll go through some of the items that we have listed here for some of the things that we would like to highlight in terms of progress so far. And after each section, please raise your hand, ask questions if you have any, or if you believe that you could contribute to any of those topics in a meaningful way. Also, you can use the tab here in the in-call messages to add questions, and we'll do our best to answer those as we go. Okay, so the last town hall was last year, right after the launch of the AtomOne chain. So a lot of things have happened since then. 5 months in, what has happened and for everyone who has joined here for the first time and is not fully aware of the progress of the AtomOne project and what has been done lately, just a small recap here that I have added in the section, how the ATONE distribution happened. As for everyone who has been here long before the AtomOne chain was launched, you remember that this was a GovGen proposal on the GovGen chain with a distribution. There was a snapshot done for the Cosmos Hub community for the Atom addresses, which airdropped the ATONE token to over 1.1 million addresses. Now the ATONE supply is around 107 million ATONE. We have two community pools, let's say, right? One is the community pool, the standard community pool for proposals, for community proposals, and the second one is the reserved one for funding for the Treasury DAO. Both of them have started equally around 5 million, and this is the amount that has been allocated to those. Some stats in regards to what Minscan has recorded. Thank you for Cosmos Station team for providing this information publicly. Some of the number of accounts, what is the activity, and some of the average monthly users. This is, quite a progress that we are seeing in terms of community growth and engagement. And your presence here today shows that there are community members who are supporting and want to learn more about AtomOne and some of the developments that have happened. Also, as a short recap, as you have known so far, since the launch, we had 4 proposals up and running on chain and voted on. The first one was the well-expected IBC enablement as a first proposal. The second one was the ratification of the AtomOne Constitution that, with the help of most of you here, was a community effort done before the launch of AtomOne. And then we had also another 2 proposals which helped the community decide over their preferred logo for AtomOne. This is it in terms of like some small a small recap of the major events in terms of distribution and also proposals. But the more exciting news are actually happening in the following sections in regards to engineering, the current proposals we have on chain and in voting period, and also some of the things that we have been contributing for the past few months. So I'll pass it to Giuseppe from AIB Engineering to walk you through their great work on AtomOne contribution for development, and also the next steps that they are seeing in terms of roadmap and future implementation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So as people know, there are a couple of proposals currently up and in voting, which are for two features that are planned for the first upgrade to the chain, which is going to be the 2.0 version. One being the introduction of Photon as the dual token model that was discussed even during the Constitution Working Group. So people should already know what I'm talking about, at least a few of you, but I'm going to get into that in a second. And the second one is, let's say, the second step, because a few were done already at the launch, towards changing the governance module and how governance works, at least on AtomOne, but in general provide an alternative for Cosmos chains, which is to have a deposit for both submission and activation, so being promoted into voting period, that are both dynamic. So going briefly into proposal 5, maybe we could open just to support the proposal itself. But in general, so as people, again, as a few of you already know, and it's in the Constitution, the intent is to introduce a fee token that is going to be used as, again, token for fees, for fee payment, and for future ICS payments. That is Photon, and is independent from the staking token, which is ATONE. This is a separation that primarily its intention is to essentially allow ATONE to be purely a staking token, and to sort of alleviate some pressure to make it more monetary with stuff like liquid staking, which is where initially we started, investigating this dual token model, even though we converged to a simpler thing. But in general, allow, again, ATONE to be independently and, freely, let's say, a staking token, and even be allowed to inflate in a way that it's it makes it sound for a staking token, which again could be corrupted, let's say, in some sense, allow me the word, by this pool to make it more monetary by separating by separating the functions and have two tokens. We hope to alleviate this. So the way to mint Photon is we'll be burning ATONE tokens, so the staking token, with a formula which is relatively, it's down below in the, it's relatively simple. But the important and key aspect is that, at least at protocol level, there is no conversion back. So there is no way to mint ATONE by burning Photon. That doesn't mean there's not going to be a market, but the important thing, and to prevent hostile takeover by acquiring a lot of Photon, converting it to ATONE, minting it, and then potentially take over the chain, removing this removes a huge potential, security threat, which we got rid of with this simpler model. And it's still, if the economics of the chain are there, it's still, the flywheel is gonna work. And in general, again, since in principle any token could be the fee token, right? It doesn't matter which is the fee token or the payments token with respect to the staking token. It's better to have them separate. So this is what we are proposing. There is also a little bit of detail about the implementation in the proposal, as well as the ADR, the architecture description record, that is linked, and it's available on the GitHub repo. We would like to have everything approved that we would hope to plan to include for a future actual software upgrade. So assuming this gets voted yes, it's going to be included, in the future 2.0 upgrade. So there's going to be another proposal, in short, for the actual software upgrade. But still, we want it to be as thorough as possible in explaining everything. And the implementation is also already there, and it's also already audited with no findings. I don't know if this is public yet, but we can in terms of like if the audit is already available, but it should be, if it's not available now, it should be very shortly. But the good thing is this code was audited and nothing was found, zero finding whatsoever. So that's pretty good. If the signaling proposal passes, this will be deployed at least on testnet while we get this ready for the software upgrade that will happen on mainnet. So there will be time for public testing, although we are already testing it internally, and you can also test it yourself if you spin up a local net that builds from main, which is where this is living currently. Okay, so back to the main agenda, and I want to move on to the next proposal, unless there are questions. Okay.
Everything is clear, I think, on this stage.
Cool. Okay, so let's move into the proposal number 6, for which I think it's going to be a little bit less clear, but I'm joking, but I'll get to that. Okay, so proposal number 6 is around introducing a mechanism to dynamically determine the deposit, both for submission, so the initial deposit, which is currently, for example, on the Cosmos Hub, a percentage of the total deposit, and the total deposit to promote a proposal to the voting period. Okay, so the model, simply put, I don't want to get too much on the math. Actually, there is no need to look at the ADR, at the proposal here, because we can look at the graphs that are already in the, yeah, if you open the first, yes. So, so the current model that we are proposing, and it's currently up, and again, for which we have an implementation, it was audited successfully, so at least in terms of vulnerability, there is none. But still, as you know, in the process of always trying to understand and improve, this also means, things might happen, and I'll get to that. But let me present first the model that we have so far. So in this model, when proposals get submitted and basically increase the total number of proposals currently active. So let's say I'm focusing only on the total deposit and only on proposals in the voting period. When, as you can see from the, let's say, the green colored lines, and there is a target proposals when, and the deposit is the black line. When the target proposals, the total proposal exceeds the target, the deposit will start increasing over time. This is to disincentivize further proposals, essentially. And then when it drops below, it's going to start decreasing over time as well. There is also an activation-based increase, which is the step bump that you see when new proposal enter the voting period above the target. And this is more or less, again, it was, you may know if you already run, a lot of you actually do run chains or other Cosmos chains and know this problem of spam, where the total deposit, but even initial deposit, so the one for submissions, might get too low, that it requires an adjustment of the parameters, and this could be even necessitate a constant, like a continuous adjustment. So we want to try to find a way to do this automatically. Now, for this, we have the proposal app. We presented the model in the ADR. We also have the implementation. And again, this was audited and planned for the 2.0 upgrade. However, upon further reviewing, prior to merging the PR that is currently up, it should be PR 69. You can see it on GitHub. Even though, again, audit was fine, we were still doing some internal reviewing, and we kind of found a little bit of an inconsistency, or let's say a problem with the current model that is sort of shown already with the T1 and T2 dotted line. Basically, if you think about it, even though proposals aren't changing in number, there is this time-based increase that is inadvertently incentivizing earlier submission. And what I mean by that is, if you think about it, a spammer, which will time their attacks, can ignore this time-dependent increase. And it's only going to disadvantage actually honest users. So for this reason, we changed the model. And this also means that unfortunately, the current proposal is inaccurate, but we will put up a new one and we will update the ADR. But we have revised the model in which we have, yes, which is here, the dropdown, which is essentially, so the model below, yeah. So the increase is still going to be exponential. So a percentage of the previous value. And so it's going to grow exponentially, but it's going to be a step function and only upon activation. So only when a new proposal comes in. And then when it drops below the target, the deposit will start slowly dropping over time. So there is still a time-based update, but it's only for decreases. And this is to essentially try to find an equilibrium price that is not necessarily the floor, because there is going to be a floor, a minimum floor that is a parameter, which is the minimum, absolute minimum deposit. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And this is actually what the system is trying to do, that the absolute minimum is actually the equilibrium price. So this system will still allow to find an equilibrium price, but it will not disadvantage users that aren't timing proposal submissions, and hence potentially gaming the system. So we already have a PR for this. It's linked below. We are finalizing the update of the documentation. The ADR was also updated today, but it's stuff that happened in the last couple of days, really. So it's kind of new, and we'll definitely again finalize the ADR and put up a new proposal that should actually contain the right implementation, that at least the one we're proposing to be included in a 2.0 upgrade of AtomOne. Okay, questions about this? Cool. Another thing that we've been working on, a lot of you actually are validators on AtomOne, and you may have noticed, and not only validators, that there has been a spam attack on the chain recently, which, due to the fact that gas prices are fixed and set by validators, but generally it's like there is sort of a consensus of a recommended value that everybody sets. The point is, if there is a sudden spam attack because the gas price is too low, the only way is to manually and socially coordinate on increasing the price manually, stopping the node, changing the value, restarting the node. So ideally, it was annoying, but it prompted us to do something about it. And the best solution was, as for many chains in Cosmos and beyond, an EIP-1559-like system, which is, first proposer was Ethereum. And again, there are various implementation already in the Cosmos Hub, on Osmosis, and actually even in GNOland, if you sneak peek at the code, there is an implementation there. And they are all based on EIP-1559. What we did, and again, we have already a feature branch with this implementation, is we started from the module that the Cosmos Sub is using, not because it was the one that Cosmos Sub is using, but because it also includes a variant that the Cosmos Sub is not using, which we find particularly interesting, which is the additive increase, multiplicative decrease of the learning rate. So one criticism, and I'm going to show this actually, if you in the meantime can open the link below, yeah, the graph. No, the one that you were hovering, the one that's, yeah. So, and by the way, I didn't mention there is a little simulation. So we aren't designers, so sorry if this is ugly, but we also have a little simulation for the model about the dynamic deposit that you can check out. Just didn't want to show it because we already have the, the graphs, and so it probably wasn't needed. But you can check it out if you want. So here, what we want to show is there is this variant that is changing the learning rate, which is sort of the rate of change in some sense of the gas price in an additive increase, multiplicative decrease way. Because one criticism of EIP-1559 is that it's lagging behind and it's not adjusting fast enough and actually in time. And so actually with this change, this could be obtained. So for example, if Johnny, you increase the current block size, there is like, not in that way, pressing the arrow. Yeah, just keep doing it up, stop to 60 and then go below. Slowly, a little bit slowly, so you give the time to update. Yeah, just keep pressing it. So here the target is 30 and the maximum is 60, and the blue line is the classic. No, I think this is something is wrong here. Should be the other way around. Julio, can you help me? Why is the okay? So yeah, okay, no, this is actually right. So you can see, as you can see, it's faster. I think the visualization is a little bit screwed, but also if you go, because it's only up until 40, so it's not really showing that well. Can I share my screen? I think I can fix the visualization because otherwise,
yeah, of course, go for it.
Just everything works good. Just you already increase the amount to the 60, but blue line shows how it's growing.
Yeah, and it's
because so we can see the exponential growing of the fees when it goes to the 60. In the one moment, this blue line fees became very
yeah.
much bigger.
But it's also because you couldn't appreciate on the, so if I set, let's use very low numbers here. Let's do 4 and 2. Let me reset so I can visualize. You need to see also the yellow line. So if the current block size is, it exceeds, it starts increasing and then it goes to the maximum, and then I drop it and then it goes below. You see that actually even though so this is actually how it should behave. And sorry if it wasn't clear. So the yellow line is how the block consumption is growing, and the blue line is the fees in AIMD, and the green line is the fees in EIP-1559. As you can see, actually, and I used such little number that is not really shown. Not only the increase is slower and smoother on EIP-1559, but it's actually converging slower to the minimum. So it's really not responding that well to congestion, and it's not fast enough. It's lagging behind. That's the criticism. And you can also read the AIMD MD file that is in the module. So in short, we again use this module that it's the one used from the Cosmos sub. We did a couple of changes. We are also, which the most important one is we removed the proposer tip because we don't care about that. That was done by them to create a market for fees. We just want to control for congestion. And this was the main changes. We fixed a few things. We also fixed the documentation. So if you look at the examples in the AIMD.md file, you will see proper examples that also will hopefully make you understand even more with numerical example what this algorithm is doing. But I hope also the graph kind of shows that it's more responsive, and it doesn't really show again that it's faster also in converging to the minimum because I used 4 and 2 as target and max block size. But just because unfortunately the current block size on the right just shows until 6, and I think if I upgrade it, it's going to show. But what I wanted to just more faster growth, more rapid descending decrease of AIMD, and probably we think this is a better system. AIMD is also, some of you may recall this thing because it's TCP/IP stuff. So it is not, it's not pulled out, from the rabbit, it's not a rabbit pulled out from the hat, but it's something, that has been extensively done in literature for other things. So it's just a reuse of old concepts, which is usually it's a good thing, and it seems to be this way too. Here, okay, so I think we can go back to the agenda, because unless there are questions, this is we also plan to include this for the future upgrade. We will probably put up a signaling proposal for these two, although it's more of a streamlined thing, because except a few changes, it was an already developed and used code on the Cosmos sub, just with different parameters. And the system itself is EIP-1559, which is, again, battle tested and used even by osmosis or GNOland for what matters. Okay, so questions before I move on? Cool. Couple of things also that we are working on, and there are others that don't have the time to get into already too much, which are, some of you may be already familiar with the governor concepts, which is, since we removed governance delegations for validators, we also want to, however, still allow some sort of representative voting, but not with validators. So we're probably going to introduce these governors, which is a separate account, essentially, able to receive only governance delegations, so not staking delegation. They will be separate systems. It's in the back burner because there is only so much that we want to push through a chain upgrade, which is probably going to be what I mentioned so far, because to digest too many things at once might be not easy. But if anything, this is planned for a future upgrade. Still, it's there. It's mostly there. ADR and code are there. Need to be audited, need to be thoroughly reviewed, of course. And some of you actually already, interestingly enough, I don't know if the guy that provided feedback is here, but I appreciate that some of you also took the time to read the code and actually provide feedback. And if any of you also want to do it, we are welcome. Finally, another thing is to implement a dynamic quorum, for which we have, for now, just a prototype. We're going to finalize it again for probably a future upgrade. And we are basing our work on Tezos, because they have a dynamic quorum, which uses an EMA, a moving average. They call it exponential moving average, to basically use the past history to determine a quorum that is as close as possible to the actual one, the historical one, let's say. However, is within two bounds. So let's say 20 and 80%. So it needs to float between these two bounds, but it can float and tries to follow the average quorum that is given, by this moving average, essentially. So tries to align with the actual quorum of the chain, which is, again, when something can be done dynamically, I think it's better than a fixed parameter. So we're trying to improve governance, not only by reshaping the power dynamics, so not validators don't decide everything, but it's more open, but also some changes like dynamic quorum, dynamic deposit. We also have a system that for now is disabled, but it's already on chain, which is to extend the voting period if quorum is reached too close to a proposal end. So in case this was like, sometimes it could be gamed, a proposal in this way. And so proposal get quorum one day before it expires and people don't have enough time to respond. What if instead the proposal could be extended one more week if this happens? Otherwise it ends, irregular time. So we have this already. There is an ADR, you can check it. It only needs to be enabled via parameter change. And that's it from us. A lot of stuff. And if you don't have any question, I think we can move on. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Kun?
This is Quantum Global. So there are two proposals ongoing, and then I think the proposal 5, which is the Photon as a free token will be passed. And do we have a schedule or like a roadmap when we are going to upgrade the chain, or are we going to like wait for
Right.
more proposals to be passed, like the
Mhm.
like the updates on the Graph module, and then we upgrade it as a whole?
Yeah, so this is the plan. We're planning to have since it will strain also everyone to do rolling upgrades, because this need to be also voted on chain. So it will mean a signaling proposal plus an upgrade proposal for every feature. We're trying to bundling features together for a 2.0 upcoming upgrade. So a new software upgrade proposal. The tentative time is in tops a couple of months, but this is like my estimation. I think also I don't remember if I think internally we're also having such a timeline, but of course, like for example, with this change with the dynamic deposit, it might get slightly deleted, but it might not actually. We have to see, because another thing we are important aspect we are taking care of is whatever we propose as an upgrade needs to be audited, especially if it's new features. And so, for example, this delta about the dynamic deposit and even the EIP-1559 module, they need to be audited before. And but no more than a few months. And it's not because it's not implemented features. It's more because we want to audit them. Yes, Jay?
Okay, but the Photon's been audited. That
Yeah.
could go on its own, yeah.
Yeah, if you want, we can go with that on its own, and we can, sort the rest. Yes.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we have another question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry, I might be ignorant on the dynamic gas thing. The EIP-1559 and the AIMD. In the graphs you showed earlier, I didn't quite follow. Maybe so are we doing the EIP-1559 or?
Yes, so it is EIP-1559, but the classical EIP-1559 has a learning rate that is a constant, is 12.5%. In our case, the learning rate, which is sort of the rate of change, can actually also change. And it is changing with an additive increase, multiplicative decrease. This allows the actual gas price to react faster than classic EIP-1559, both up and down. I hope this.
Okay. But what I don't understand about the AIMD is that is that the implementation of the EIP-1559?
Yeah, it's basically the only difference is this learning rate in the classic EIP-1559 is a fixed value. Here it's dynamic, it's calculated before and then fed into the classic function of EIP-1559.
Okay. I understand.
Fact, the two graphs that I showed before, the two lines, are the same system, just with different parameters. If you set, so the first system has a maximum and minimum learning rate that it's floating between, and the other system, the classic, has a maximum of 12.5 and a minimum of 12.5, so it's never changing. But the parameters are exactly the same. This is constant.
But one more question is that what happens if the message block is huge, large?
If it's large, you mean like to the full?
Yeah, something like
yeah. If it's constantly full, the problem with the EIP-1559, if there is a sudden spike, like a sudden spike, it will increase too slow the gas price, potentially even increase enough only after it's too late, let's say after the spike has happened. Here we want to increase it to understand that a sudden spike has happened. So the block suddenly became full, and is very distant from the target, and it's gonna spike up faster. And also, if it suddenly goes a lot below the target, so let's say it suddenly goes to 0, so it's completely empty, it will also drop much faster. Instead, classic EIP-1559 doesn't do this, and it simply lags behind. Yeah, Jay?
I just wanted to add that this is faster or slower. It's all relative to blocks. So within the same block, I believe would the transaction fee be the same? Yeah, the gas the price.
Yeah, it's the block relative. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was just a single large transaction, this would not affect that. It's the same for a single transaction, single block.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are under attack and they pump in, keep on pumping like that, will that affect anything?
Yeah, so basically what will happen, assumes they keep attacking, the gas price will keep increasing very fast. If they keep increasing the attack rate, it will keep increasing fast, but then at some point, the assumption is the attack needs to stop because it will increase the cost to a point that the attacker can't do anything, will exhaust the funds. It has to be this way because funds are finite. Yes. In any case, can be infinitely large, you can assume, but they will eventually stop. Suddenly, so the attack will go to 0. And what we want is also a very fast decrease, a sharp decrease, so that users aren't screwed, regular users. So again, the point is we want both on the way up and on the way down to be aware of sudden spikes in both directions. So when the actual utilization is either full or empty, which is very distant from the target, which is, let's say, 60-70% of utilization. So, I don't know if this clarifies. Yeah.
I mean, sorry, right? So what you're saying is that with this implementation, that's mean our servers will have to take on the attack for that duration until they stop. Is that correct?
So in some sense, but in reality, the point is the price will increase very sharply. So the actual result is that it will stop much faster. So yeah, so this is why it's spam prevention, because you will price out the attacker much faster, and they will not be able to go further.
So more straightforward is that we do not need to do anything else to prevent, other than just using price to fight back the spammers. That's all.
Precisely. And the network is aware of block usage. And again, this is classic EIP-1559 with a little bit more nuance, but that's it. The gist of it is that. Yes, though. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. I think we can move then on the next section. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Giuseppe. Okay. So the AtomOne website, I know a lot of you have been excited when this was launched, the first community atom.one website. So I'll let Adar walk you through it for a bit. And if you have any questions, please ask.
Hey everyone. So we launched a website for AtomOne to show the wider community what the chain is about, where we are now, and where we are going in terms of the chain's features and goals. That's basically what we start. What we start with on the website. The website has all the stats and information for people to quickly understand what is happening. And yeah, along with that, we have all the useful information and links to help people with getting to know the vision, along with the necessary instructions. And as always, we keep on updating and improving the page according to the feedback that we get. That is always welcomed, by the way. So yeah, stay tuned and thank you.
Thank you. And also, this being our proposal for AtomOne community website, feel free to suggest improvements or changes if you believe there should be specific information on the website that you'd like to see there. Okay, awesome. Lot of clapping. I guess you're liking it. Thank you. There was a hand raised. Or not?
Sorry, I misclicked. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so we're taking it as you like it. Thank you for the feedback. We'll have some other updates in regards to AtomOne later in the agenda from Trevor, but we'll get to that soon. Meantime, Johnny, your call out for socials and people, interacting and being more active in regards to AtomOne.
Yeah, I
Go for it.
imagine most of the folks that are here are already in the Discord. But I did want to just give a quick shout out to the X, our Twitter platform. If you have a Twitter and you have some reach, it would be great if we could get your help in retweets and reposts and kind of expand the reach of the AtomOne audience, essentially. So, you know, if you're not following, please follow along. That'd be great. And the same thing goes for Commonwealth. If you haven't participated in the discussion on Commonwealth for future proposals, please feel free to join. You would use your AtomOne address to participate in those conversations. The cool thing is that anyone can post. So if you have ideas, this is a great platform to have that kind of discussion if you're not comfortable with posting it on GitHub or other means. So yeah, check those out. Be great to get some feedback and some wider reach. Vladimir, you have your hand up?
Yes, this is we already developed a Quest Task platform alternative to ZILIB Block Galaxy, where we want to launch the campaign about AtomOne, and I don't know, will we speak about the contributions a little bit later, or I can present this platform right now, like it will take 30 minutes just to show what we can do.
Yeah, I'm open to that. I think everyone else should be too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So friends, I will present now my entire screen. So we develop, we really like open source, and we develop platform that's called Centrifuge. If somebody don't know, Centrifuge, it's a machine to train the cosmonauts. We train digital cosmonauts. So the functionality is totally the same as the ZILIB Block Galaxy, but we don't ask for the payment. And those who are responsible for the community development can run the quests and tasks for on the Centrifuge for AtomOne. We have such functionality as join the Discord, join the Telegram, follow, retweet, like. For now, these people who do it create the leaderboard. Exist different tasks. It's very easy to create tasks, so you can go to to my projects. I need to log in. So this is and also we even thinking to maybe I just need to switch the account in Kepler, sorry. So it can be even given the roles for the different, finish the task, get the role in the Discord. You can take the next task if you already have this role. Bots check everything automatically. More and more projects joining us. We are launching not so far away, a long time ago, but we can even create tasks without a check, like a stake 10 ATONE, stake 100 ATONE. Yes, to motivate people to stake ATONE. You can go. Okay, I need to log in with the Kepler. And you can create owners, admins, several owners. So this is the totally decentralized, very permissionless. You can choose a lot of different types of the quests. They can be one time, weekly. You can add different tasks of different types, visit link, upload files, quiz, referrals, so on, so on. So moreover, we want to deploy Centrifuge on the blockchain, and maybe it's cool to deploy it on AtomOne. That's all tasks that are created by the projects will be, you need to pay fees in ATONE. When person come to take the task, pay fees in ATONE. When you solve the task, pay fees in ATONE. So by our experience on the Zili, our project about the Cosmos ecosystem in general had 1,100,000 interactions. So it could be 2,300,000 transactions. Yes, and all of them can be in ATONE. If some project want to give rewards in their own tokens, for example, injective, what they need? They need to send injective to the ATONE. And it's IBC transactions. After a lot of people solve these tasks, get IBC tokens, injective on ATONE, and send it back to the native chain. It's hundreds, thousands of the IBC transactions from ATONE to the native chain, and so on. So it can increase amount of the transactions significantly. And also it will create additional demand for ATONE. So users will buy ATONE not only to stake or trade, but also to pay fees to create quests, tasks on the Centrifuge platform. This is what we want to share with you. If somebody who is responsible for the community development, please feel free to contact me, or we even have the group that it's called in the Telegram, where you can, I send here is link, Centrifuge Digital, where you can get any support of how to create quests, so on. Yes, Adriana?
Is this already live or?
Yes, it's a really live. It's a still alpha version, not beta. Beta version will be on the blockchain. So we are in the process of looking for the chain to deploy Centrifuge. At first we were thinking to do it on Cosmos, but they are so slow. This is so annoying. Like this is so we decided, okay, like Cosmos is very slow. Maybe ATONE not so slow in the founding public goods. So it will be public good for the whole Cosmos ecosystem, just like, DAO. And on the DAO, when you create DAO, you need to pay fees. When you create proposals, you pay fees. This is okay. So this is the same. It's like it will be the app on the chain. When you create tasks, you don't need to pay $15,000 per month, like in case of the B block, yes, or $30,000 per year. Not months, year, as the Galaxy, or $6,000 for Zili. You just always pay fees. So for the projects, it will be much more better, and it will involve the community. And you can tell, go and vote on proposal. You will get 3 experience. At the end of the quarter, the top 100, like the leaderboard, will get some prizes.
That sounds great. Thank you. We'll definitely try it on to see how it works, and we're excited about the upcoming, chain launch for that. In terms of the next steps, I believe there are several possibilities here. I know that in the AtomOne roadmap, we are planning for a DAO system that is responsible for allocating these funds to this type of community building initiatives, and Centrifuge does seem like a utility app for the AtomOne project. So that is one possibility, but that might take a bit. We have an update in regards to some of the work that has been done there on the legal side in terms of like some drafts for the main two charters for the DAOs. But we also have the community pool, right, which is active. If you believe your team is in urgent need of having a decision over that type of funding, I believe that could be a place to also make a proposal and gain community vote on that. We also have the separate EIB grants and bounty program, which is a program funded by us from AIB. So I think there are like several options for the support of the app. I think for now, let's encourage the community to test it out, to share feedback. We'll also do that and move the conversation forward. Thank you for.
Yes, that sounds great. And if we are going to speak about delegation program and so on, so I also want to present a little bit screen to also to tell about some contributions that we already done. I was telling that we create these services for the different chains for the GovGen for a long time. Now it's available for the AtomOne installation guides, Taxing, Spears, IBC Reliers, so on. One-liner will be soon. Now it's not ready, but very soon it will be just one line of code, enter, and your node is run. Very cool. If something bad happens and you need move your node from one data center to another data center, also here is we start to collect the list of the contributions for the AtomOne. I already sent the link. You can check different kinds of the contributions. But if we will go and look at the distribution of the voting power, this looks not really great, because we see that the even like top 10 validators control 67% of the voting power, and we can check by the different validators. Validators SG1 have delegations from the foundation like 1.5 million, 1 million. Yes, okay. Validator, for example, DKCMC have delegations 2 millions. Okay,
Vladimir,
do a lot. That's why they get these delegations. Delegation 1.6 millions for the simply staking. Yes, and this is 1.5 million for DSRV, and also they have the commission 10%. This is also looks not really great. All nodes have, okay, 176, but it's why Kalpatech also, in case you do a lot, Adriana, why other validators get millions, why you get delegations 10, 20 times less than others? When Adriana, I see you here from the beginning, your efforts, your contributions so great. Why Kalpatech validator have 10 times, 20 times less delegations? Yes, and if we will look stake live zone, yes, and in this case,
Vladimir, just want to stop you there for a second. I want to first appreciate and thank you for raising this discussion. But we have a dedicated AIB ATONE delegation discussion in the agenda. So maybe that will be the best place to ask those questions, so we can stick on the schedule. Sounds good?
Yes, sounds good. Sounds
right.
good.
And maybe after Vale is going to present some of the updates that we have there, maybe some of your questions will be answered.
Right.
And also, again, just for everyone here, I'm sure most of you are aware, but what Vladimir has presented in terms of like those high delegations Those are not coming from AIB. AIB is a private company. Those are not our delegations. And AtomOne as a project doesn't have a foundation, right? So whatever changes in the delegation structures or delegations have been done, those were outside of AIB. The ones that's especially the big ones that you were showing. Okay, for clarification for everyone here, just do not believe that those are hours where we are making those delegations. Okay, off to you. I think we have a very short shout out from Johnny in regards to the newsletter sign up first.
Yeah, so it can get kind of difficult to follow everything that's happening with AtomOne. I'm sure some of you might not have the time to do so, to check on Discord or Twitter or wherever it is that it's coming out. So we're attempting to compile a community newsletter that's going to have as much information as we can cram into it as possible. I think this would be really ideal for those that might have busier lives. You might want to sign up. So there's the link. I'll post the link in the in-call messages if you haven't signed up already. This is just one of the small things that we can do to try to make following the project a little easier. So there it is. And I do think that we're running quite over the time here, so I want to pass this off to the rest of the people that have contributed to the agenda PR, which there is roughly 3 or 4 more people, and then I would like to take future questions and requests at the end of the call, if that's okay with everyone.
Awesome. Right. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah.
No worries. So I'm passing the ATONE delegation program off to Vale.
Thank you, Johnny. With the objective of enhancing the network decentralization and optimizing security and improving network engagement, we've launched the first cycle for the AIB ATONE delegation program, which I'm sure many of you on the call are familiar with the details. We opened the application in January, and the program requirements were set to ensure a fair and secure network distribution, and therefore all the applicants had to go through KYC verification. And in order to promote the decentralization, any validator that was over 3% voting power was ineligible to apply for the program. For the assessment of the applications, we looked into the contributions since the launch and prior in the pre-launch phase of the chain. And so we've categorized our assessment into 4 levels. The level 1 includes the highly engaged contributors who were the ones that provided technical contributions, but as well actively engaged in project developments from its inceptions. That means that they were part of the groups that were formed in order to work on GovGen, the Constitution working groups, the write-up draft of the Constitution, and the AtomOne town halls. Then we allocated the level 2 for the technical contributors. We understand that the project is at its early phase, and so therefore we have tried to take this fact into consideration. Then we've also have a level 3, which is for potential future contributors, and that means that there is limited past contributions. However, the plan that they have proposed and the further engagement with the network makes them fall into this category. And then level 4 is the minimal contributors, and that means the validators who have recently joined the AtomOne community, and they don't necessarily have an evidence of a past contribution. However, they are showing enthusiasm to be part of the community that is shaping up. We are almost at the end of the final stage, and grateful for your patience whilst we are completing our checks. The delegations will be done very soon. We have some questions from some of the validators, but majority of our assessment is final, and those validators will receive their delegation very soon. and we will follow up with the rest in order to fill the missing information. There will be ongoing evaluation of the contributions, and we look into the adherence to commitments expressed in the application throughout the next 6 months, which is the duration of the first cycle. Finally, we plan to begin the ATONE delegation program second cycle with applications opening in August to make sure that we are meeting the 6 months limit. This being said, the leveling and the assessments are going to further expand as the project matures and as the validators in the first cycle are getting more engaged with the network. Anyone has any question regarding the program? Yes.
Yes. So this is very cool that you are thinking about decentralization, want to share, for example, maybe if you missed it, but we have beautiful validator, BZ community. They created the first trade of pair to ATONE USDC on their own DEX. Yes, but now they have like a, they don't have the delegation from the they have some delegations from the community, but they are totally down. I want to tell that please check busy community because they contribute a lot, and this is very good validators. And of course, friends, we need to do something to like if these delegations with 1 million not from all in bits, but from somebody else, like maybe we need to speak with these delegators, like if they are such big, I'm totally sure that we understand who is it. And we can tell friends, like we respect all the validators there because the situation. So when I speak with the community and I tell AtomOne, this is so cool project with the so cool idea to bring the governance to the community, people tell, oh my God, top 10 validators have 67% of voting power. Vladi, what are you talking about? This centralization of voting power is kind of in the cover chain. Yes, why you okay, I understand why Cosmos Station have such big delegations. They are really great. But friends, to be honest, we see a lot of different contributors and some top validators don't do so much for the network, but have so crazy, huge amounts of the delegations that we need to speak with those people who delegate and tell if you are interested in the development of our network and you are delegators, you need to delegate not to the one validator, but to many validators, because it's in the interest of the network, it's in the interest of your coins. If you are staker and you are a big staker, you're interested in the cool decentralized network that the token is growing up, you are the big holder. So do the right way for the network if you are holder of such big amount, because for now, this is not good marker.
Correct. So Vladimir, everything that you are pointing out is correct. It is our goal as a community, right? And everyone has to play a part in that process to bring awareness to the community in regards to these aspects. As we have mentioned before, right? Those high delegations that you have, given as example, are not pertaining to AIB. So it is the responsibility of that respective, delegator, right, to make sure that it's acting in the best interest of the community. But in the meantime, everyone has a role, right, to contribute to fostering this understanding and to contribute to this awareness of the community on what are chain best practices, right? How can we improve our delegation as discrepancy that we have right now, right? What are some items that each of us could take into consideration to contribute to that? I'll let Sean and Jay speak more, but I see that they have their hand raised, and I'm sure they have some opinions on this matter as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that just on Vladimir's point about these bigger validators, AIB in this round of delegations, it's not just about delegations, it's about redelegations. So there are a few that we have recognized that have a lot of power, and there will be a number of undelegations from the bigger players. So just wanted to put that out there. Jay?
Hey, thank you. Yeah, so for ICS, if we assume that there will be, say, thousands or tens of thousands of ICS shards, every validator is going to need to run a lot of infrastructure, a lot of servers, right? Basically, be their own data center, more or less, whether or not they're working in with a co-hosting facility. Yeah, so what we should probably do is, after we get some basic governance fixes in, and before we deploy ICS, or at least before it becomes scaled up, that we fix the delegation algorithm and the validator selection algorithm, really, so that delegating to validators who already have high delegation is less attractive and disincentivized. Not sure exactly how to do that. I think that's another discussion we should have, a separate one. And we'll come up with some ideas too, but some thoughts I had along the lines were like, maybe we should keep the range of highest delegated to lowest delegated to be something like 3 to 1, right? And so there's some flexibility, but there's enough other things around the validator selection algorithm to disincentivize over validation. But also the validators are just for securing the chain and committing blocks on the chain, but it doesn't affect governance, right? Because proposal votes don't take into account delegations. So that's a big factor that's already fixed and is already improving things. So it's not such a big deal now, but we definitely want to fix this before ICS rolls out. Cougar, Master?
Yeah, sorry, I just want to clarify, for the governance, like on voting on proposals and all that, does it mean that going forward is that the validator's own delegation is only taken into account?
For voting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone has to vote. There's no delegation taken into account.
So
everyone
that's mean for our own vote, we have to delegate more coins to get a higher. Is that going to be, or is it just one vote, one validator?
No. What I mean is, for the purpose of governance voting, proposal voting, that who you delegate to, which validator you delegate to, does not matter. You have to vote yourself. You don't inherit the vote of your validator. So the validator's role is much diminished. So you stake your, you do have to stake, but you stake your tokens, and then you have to vote regardless of who you validate to.
But what about self-delegation?
Same thing with self-delegation. Self-delegation is like any other delegation. So even if a validator were to self-delegate, they would still have to vote, and they would only be voting with their own self-delegation.
Oh, okay. So just to be clear, the delegators that will also be able to vote, correct?
Well, yeah, more like delegators have to vote. They're the ones who vote. Not the validators. The delegators have to vote.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's also the governors thing. So with governors, you can delegate to governors. There's more details and restrictions there. You can delegate, but you don't delegate to a validator. You delegate to someone who represents, basically.
Okay, so let's continue with the agenda, the DAO structures and laws, if everyone is in agreement. Awesome. Okay, so for those of you who are aware of our progress in regards to the proposed roadmap, you are aware that the DAO structure is a big part of that. What we're currently working on is a proposal for the charter for the SteeringDAO, and mostly like the whole DAO governance framework. We have made good progress there. It also has taken into account a lot of the feedback that a lot of the contributors have provided. So thank you for that. And also, as that charter is going to come to like more of a final draft to share with the community, we will be waiting for additional feedback to see if there are areas of the limitations or the rights that were oversighted or could be taken into consideration, expanded or changed. So hopefully, as the work that has been done with GovGen and the AtomOne Constitution, we will be waiting for feedback on this progress from the community as well. Okay, that's mostly that, and more details you can find here in the structure in the section. But yeah, be on the lookout for a draft coming soon for feedback. Any specific questions here? If not, off to you, Christoph. Christoph is handling all of our work on security and audits, so he has a good update for the community here.
Thanks, Adriana. We've been working with various firms to conduct third-party security audits of different products and services that we contribute to. Some of the ones that we completed recently are for the staking DApp, as well as for the governance DApp, both the GovGen and the AtomOne versions of these. We've also completed a recent audit, fairly comprehensive, of the AtomOne daemon, which includes all of the source code that's put forward into the binaries, which you can download from GitHub. And we also included some future-looking features, including the proposed Photon module and one of the first drafts of the dynamic deposit throttler that we discussed earlier on the call. So all of these either came back with non-findings or kind of minor findings that we've since addressed in our contributions to the ecosystem. And we'll continue to conduct third-party audits, new features for AtomOne, dApps, et cetera, in the near future as well. This will be an ongoing process that we sponsor. Also, you can find all of these audits, by the way, on the security repo under the All in Bits organization. Also, we have this bounty program, which is an opportunity for the technical community to take a look at the proposed Photon module code and find security issues that they want to raise. And the README here that I've linked to in this document will explain all the procedures and qualifications and so forth for people to engage in that program. And if this is something that there's ongoing interest in, we'll continue to pursue other community opportunities to you know, help review the security of the ecosystem's code and to earn rewards for those contributions. So please have a look at that when you get a chance. Any questions on the security front? Great. Well, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christoph. Okay, we have Albert next. He has presented some information in regards to chain activity stats, validators, network information mostly. Most of you, if you have been very closely following up AtomOne, you might have been aware of the progress, but I'll let Albert present for anyone else who hasn't.
Hi everyone. So we now have a full set of validators. The 100%, the 100 max validator is achieved. Even there is still in the last 10, 20 validators, there is still some cheap spots where new validators can try to enter. In terms of transactions since Genesis, we have a nice evolution. We can see some high spike with the spam attacks, but we have a nice evolution. If you're going down, we can see the daily transactions. So here is the amount of transactions here went here 10,000 blocks. And Johnny, if you can scroll down a bit. Yep, we have the amount of daily transactions since the Genesis. As we can say, we had a small spike nearby Genesis, but since it was a short amount of time, not a lot of people noticed it. We can see afterwards the largest spam attack. As you can see, it was a longer attack. This has been fixed, and we had really good validator that managed this perfectly. So congrats to all node runners and validators. We had 3 security upgrades two security upgrades since, which all of them were perfectly executed. So congrats again to all validators. In terms of Nakamoto coefficients, we had a good evolution. 4 months ago, it was at 4. 3 months ago, it was at 4, sorry. And currently, it's at 7. And I can't wait to see the new coefficients that we have once the AIB delegations will be done. I'm now up to the staking and Gov applications.
Thank you, Albert.
Hello, everyone. So as most of you know, we have 2 dApps specific to AtomOne running. For those of you that don't know, one of them is staking.atom.one, which is a staking platform. It's basically a one-stop dApp for staking ATONE and claiming rewards. We launched it a few months back with the launch of AtomOne in order to allow people to have an interface to be able to stake to validators. And since then, we've been kind of monitoring what the community has talked about, what we were noticing in order to further improve the platform. We performed a security audit of the entire platform. There were some minor findings, mostly to do with user experience. And based on that feedback and the community feedback, we made a bunch of UI and visual improvements to the platform. We believe it looks much better now. And we're currently looking into building different algorithms to help users stake to smaller validators in order to increase Nakamoto coefficient. We're going to have filtering and ordering options on the validator list. We're going to do away with the usual um, delegation voting, well, not voting power, but delegation size ordering, which tends to favor the larger delegators. There's a few ideas we have about how to best order those to make sure that it's fair and even. And any further UI improvements that we can add to that platform. The second app we have is the governance platform, very important, gov.atom.one, very important to the AtomOne ecosystem. It allows everyone to vote on proposals and also get information and about current proposals, the way the vote is going, how many people voted, quorum, all the necessary details. We did a comprehensive security audit of the governance platform a while back because it was originally built and used on GovGen before the AtomOne launch. And after the first few months of improvements and bug fixes we made during the proposals that were running on GovGen, we also recently did a differential audit of those changes. Again, we haven't had any important findings. Everything that was mentioned in those audits has been fixed. You can find the details in the security repo that Christoph linked above. We recently, due to the proposals that were due to go on chain, we added math formula support to the Markdown parser. So now proposals can perfectly display math formulas. And we've also been working on making performance improvements to the indexer that's powering the governance platform and stabilizing it for public release some point in the near future. The indexer will be usable by anyone for their own dApps once that is done. Both of those platforms have been added to the major dApp sections for AtomOne and Minscan and support all the major wallets like Kepler Leap and Cosmos Station. Any questions on this section? In that case, I'll hand it over to Trevor for the AtomOne docs.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
Hey, everybody. So a few members are kind of asking about documentation for AtomOne, and so we went ahead and did it. So we put together documentation that works off of Vipress. You can actually just go ahead and, we have the ability to effectively go to the website and you can contribute through GitHub. You can do documentation tutorials or things like that. So if you're interested in contributing, you can do that. But additionally, we have docs.atom.one, where you can see some information about the individual modules, which are pulled from the different versions of the Cosmos SDK or even the AtomOne official repository as well. So all that information is kind of aggregated together, and then you can go and view that. And we have like a working search and everything that goes with it as well. So yeah. So hopefully that's enough information to get you guys to go check out the documentation and start contributing in that way if you're interested. So that's about it.
Awesome update. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, so with that, we're at the end of the proposed discussions in the agenda for today. I know we are over time, I know. So thank you all for joining and staying with us until now. If there are any specific questions, I think we can take like one or two more in the interest of time.
Yeah, I had a question for everyone about what would be a better platform for streaming where the chat members can be whitelisted programmatically. Seems like Discord is one option. Romain mentioned a local web RTC server But what is web? Well, I mean, WebRTC is just a transport, right? Is there a separate software for it?
I can recommend Huddle 01. This is Web3 alternative to Google Meet, to Zoom. This is Web3 decentralized protocol. I send the link Huddle 01. I think this is the most near ideologically platform for any Web3 project, with the investors from the Forecaster and Polygon.
All right.
Thanks
you.
for sharing. Okay, we have a Discord there for the AtomOne community. If you have any follow-up questions or thoughts or suggestions, please go there and ask your questions or add in your thoughts. We do hope to be able to have this town hall more often, or as often as we will have exciting updates to share with the community. But we also want to allow people to be more interactive and contribute more to the topics of discussions. So most likely we'll open a draft agenda for the next town hall, time TBD. And then community members can go there and make suggestions and PRs in regards to some of the topics they would like to discuss. So by the time we'll have enough things added to the agenda that we believe a town hall is needed collectively as a community, we can set up the next one, and then we'll have all the action items from everyone who would like to contribute ideas, projects or suggestions to this town hall. Again, open format, and we encourage people to be as contributing as possible. Sounds good. Same place on the GitHub. You'll probably find it there starting tomorrow, and start adding those suggestions. You can go back and make changes if you feel like you want to add something more or in between. And looking forward for the next one. And in the meantime, we are hard at work here contributing for the project, and we hope that all of you are as well. And looking forward to see you in our socials, contributing, helping with awareness, with retweets, with sharing the good news, signing up for the newsletter, making sure you are in the channels so that all the information that is being circulating, you'll be the first to know about. And thank you also for the Validator community being on top of the upgrades. As you are aware, a lot of those are coming from other contributors that are working on those projects, especially on IBC. So we are trying to be as efficient and responsive as possible, and to be able to deliver timely upgrades to our community for AtomOne from the engineering team. So bravo for them as well. See you soon, everyone, and thank you for coming.